beautiful week to you. The political battle for Rivers State ahead of the 2027 elections is heating up, and one of the most talked about figures in the race has now broken his silence. Blessing Fubara, the governorship candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC), has firmly rejected claims that his political ambition is being controlled by powerful political figures or influenced by family connections. Instead, he says his only godfather is God. Speaking during a television interview that is already generating reactions across the country, the Rivers governorship hopeful made it clear that the intends to chart his own political course and that voters should judge him based on his vision, competence, and plans for Rivers State rather than the political narrative surrounding his family name. His comments come at a time when Rivers State remains one of the Nigeria's most politically charged states. The state has witnessed years of intense political rivalry, power struggles, and shifting alliances. With the 2027 governorship election drawing closer, every statement from major political actors is being closely scrutinized. Blessing Fubara's declaration that he has no political godfather appears aimed directly at critics who believe his emergence in the race is linked to the political influence of his brother, Governor Siminalayi Fubara. According to the NDC candidate, such assumptions ignore the reality that individuals can belong to the same family while maintaining different political beliefs, ambitions, and ideologies. The candidate insisted that his political journey is independent and driven by his own convictions. He argued that reducing his ambition to family ties would be unfamiliar and would ignore the work, planning, and vision he has developed over time. According to him, his focus is not on political labels or family relationships, but on what he believes Rivers State needs at this critical moment. His remarks also touched on the political crisis that has dominated Rivers State for several years. The long-running feud between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his predecessor, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has remained one of the most significant political stories in Nigeria. The conflict has produced court cases, legislative battles, competing political camps, and months of uncertainty that have shaped the state's political landscape. Against that backdrop, Blessing Fubara argues that Rivers people deserves a new conversation centered on governance, development, and the future rather than endless political battles. He says the state has reached a point where attention must shift away from personal conflict and towards rebuilding confidence in leadership and public institutions. The NDC candidate emphasized that Rivers State is facing what he described as a challenging period, that political actors must rise above distractions. According to him, multiple narratives are being pushed by different groups seeking to influence public opinion, but his campaign remains focused on what he calls the mission to rescue and reposition the state. Political observers say his comments are significant because they attempt to establish a separate identity at a time when many voters are trying to understand where he stands within the wider political dynamics of Rivers State. While some critics continue to view his candidacy through the lens of family connections, supporters argue that every candidate deserves to be evaluated based on personal qualifications and policy proposals. The debate over political godfathers has remained a recurring theme in Nigerian politics for decades. Across the country, many politicians have either embraced powerful political sponsors, or publicly distance themselves from such relationships. In recent years, voters have become increasingly skeptical of Godfather politics, often viewing it as a system that places private interests above public service. By declaring that his only Godfather is God, Blessing Fubara appears to be tapping into the growing public frustration with political patronage networks. The statement is designed to present him as an independent-minded candidate who owes loyalty to voters rather than political kingmakers. However, the challenge ahead of the NDC candidates may be convincing skeptical voters that independence is more than a campaign slogan. Rivers politics is known for its complexity, powerful interests, and highly organized political structures. Analysts believe voters will want to hear detailed plans on issues such as infrastructure, employment, security, education, healthcare, and economic growth before making their final decisions. The governorship race is expected to attract significant national attention because of Rivers State's strategic importance. As one of Nigeria's major oil-producing states and a key economic hub, political developments in Rivers often have implications far beyond the state's border, with major political parties already positioning themselves for the contest. The coming months are likely to witness intense campaigns, political debates, and fierce competition for voter support. Every candidate will be seeking to define the narrative, shape public perception, and build momentum ahead of the election. For Blessing Fubara, the task now is turning bold declarations into political capital. His statements may have generated headlines, but voters will ultimately judge him based on whether they believe he offers a credible alternative for the future of Rivers State. As the road to 2027 continues, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Rivers State is once again preparing for a major political showdown, and candidates are already drawing battle lines. Do you believe political godfathers will determine election outcomes in Nigeria? Or are voters becoming powerful enough to decide their own future? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoy in-depth political analysis and breaking election updates, subscribe to First Next News, like the video, and turn on your notifications so you never miss the story shaping Nigeria's future. I am Kasitoni, and many thanks for watching.